very special guest from the Consumer Affairs Commission, Dorothy Campbell. How you do?
How are you? How are you?
You divorced me, man.
No, we took a vacation.
I hear you. No, I hope that neither you nor your relatives suffered anything much. The other because
Uh it's the stories are there. Because of course I have family in St. Elizabeth and
yes
Westmoreland,
and
and
yes.
they all suffered some level of damage. Some immediate family, light, but cousins, they've lost their homes. I have four or five cousins who've lost their homes in Westmoreland.
Gone,
So
gone, gone.
yeah, it's
Um,
gone. It's
that's why,
gone.
well, you would have realized it. I've been observing the weather condition for that particular disturbance from October
Mhm.
18th. Now putting out information, but many persons don't seem to have taken it seriously. They said
Yeah.
they never knew it would happen that serious. No, it's a
Mhm.
Category 5 hurricane.
Yeah.
Concrete
Yeah.
buildings were blown down. So I saying this next time, when you see me as no things that make up noise, don't think we just have time to waste.
Yeah.
No. We
Well,
have to
generally speaking, the weather is never something that Jamaicans really take seriously. And
yes,
even though
yes.
the discussions are ongoing about the extreme kind of incidents,
Hmm.
persons are still thinking that we're exceptions.
I
Um,
wonder
and
why.
and so this is also a surprise for many
Hmm.
and a wake-up call as well.
Well, you say I wake up call, I wonder if we wake up. Let me
I
ask you
hope.
something now. It is difficult for
Mhm.
those in those parishes. It is rough. What is the way forward as consumers?
Well, the narrative has
Yes.
to change. There's absolutely no way that an agency like the Consumer Affairs Commission can
Hmm.
seek to have conversations with consumers about empowerment and advocacy and their rights and so on in the same old way.
I
Because
see.
our audience, they are homeless, the children
Oh,
are not
yo,
in
Lord, we
schools,
say it already, but my head hurt me.
the children are not in schools. The community support of churches and community centers and clinics and all the things that we consider to be central to the
Mm.
foundation of a community
And rights
has been
of a
wiped out.
consumer. Place to even
Exactly.
put your head and sleep. Can you imagine that?
Right, right. That has
Yeah.
been wiped out. So if you look at it, Mr. Darby, say for instance, you're going to be literal about the rights of consumers. The
Yes.
five basic rights, five of them are gone. Right
My
to
God, gone,
shelter,
gone.
the right to clean water, the right to
What? Oh
education,
Lord, on the water.
the right to safe goods. Because what is happening is that there are areas that are maybe considered hazardous because of standing water that
Yes,
is
yes.
contaminating our food source. So
Hmm.
we can't speak to the consumers in the same old way. So we have to address the issues that are basically confronting them in a kind of immediate, urgent kind of way. So that's why our focus lately, it's on food safety and the basic things about how to get your water clean, whether you have any way of boiling and cooling that water
Hmm.
or whether you have access to bleach. So we do the 8 drops to a gallon kind of
8 drops to a
ratio.
gallon. Uh-huh.
And we also talk about the labeling and safety of canned goods to ensure that consumers are not consuming goods that are dented, that has rust marks, that where the
Oh,
labels are missing, where the
yes.
expiry date has
Hold up. Stop,
erased.
stop right there. So I wonder if I know so they probably don't have radio. But this is being recorded, so we're going to try our best to circulate it. Listen carefully, right? Now my card is giving more trouble, because that would be another disaster. Go and tell me.
Right, right.
Yes.
Because food poisoning is a serious illness. And
Yes.
if you have a immune system that is already deficient, or if you're elderly, babies, children, toddlers, even an adult.
Yes.
You could be in the hospital for quite a while if you can get to the hospital. If you
Oh,
suffer,
if you can get,
if
yes,
you can get to the hospital,
yes.
if you suffer any kind of food poisoning. So
Mhm.
we want consumers to understand if the cans have been dented, if they show any rust marks, if the label is missing, if the expiry date is erased or
Oh, yes, that's an
non-existent.
important the expiry date. Check to see
Yes,
the yes, yes.
because remember, we're
Mhm.
giving these canned foods to persons who may not have access to heat. So while you
Yes.
can kill some bacteria by reheating, or they're probably eating straight from the can and feeding their children and the elderly and so on. So we have to be very careful
Oh, since
about
as you
how.
mentioned that, some of us have a very nasty habit of just taking up some I can't drink and just drink it. We must understand, especially now. The rat them all over the place. Can you imagine the rat
Mhm.
pee on the can? And you just go and
Right.
put it in your mouth and drink it?
Right. And that's why a friend of mine who is organizing some support from Florida
Yes,
asked if there is any thing that I could, any idea to
yes.
share about what they could include in the packages. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, get some empty covered buckets, because the covered buckets can be used as storage,
Mm-hmm.
because you just said something about rats. You can store the food that you receive in covered buckets.
Right, right.
Those covered buckets can be used as seats if you have nowhere to sit. You
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
put a plank of wood on two of them, and it can be a seat, a bench for you and your family. Those
What how
covered
you know all these
buckets,
things are? You
I
sound
grew
like
up in the
fit on
country.
hand make fashion.
I grew up in the country. Those
Yes,
covered buckets can carry water, can store water as well.
yes.
So it has multiple, and those and to be basically clear, there are many persons who do not have basic toilet facilities,
Oh yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So
Yes.
if you want to remain hygienically clean, you
Mm-hmm.
have somewhere where your children can be safe to go,
Yes.
right? And you ensure that you discard in a specific space that you can consider, so you don't get contaminated, the rest of the family walking through what you discard.
And not only that, when that goes into the water table and so on, that you have another
Exactly.
problem. Yes.
Exactly. So, and also to just say to persons, try and get some rehydration salts in your packages, because the
Mhm.
children are going to have gastroenteritis. It's not a if or maybe. This is a season when the younger ones are usually filling up, and the medical fraternity will tell you they're usually filling up the emergency room because they have gastroenteritis, because contaminated water, handling food without having
Mhm.
running water to wash your hands, makes you susceptible to transferring all kind of viruses and bacteria to the
Yes,
children.
yeah.
So rehydration salts are very important. The Pedialyte that they offer is bulky and it's a liquid. But if you get the salts,
Hmm.
they know what portion of water to add, they
Attitude,
can,
right.
right, it will be fed to the children fresh every morning or every
Hmm.
day, when they need it. So those are some of the things we have to talk about, Mr. Darby. It's not rights and empowerment in terms of what we used to do. It's a different kind of empowerment. It's a consciousness and a mindset
Hmm.
to deal
You're
with
not
what
with
is
the
in
boy.
front of you.
You're not mute completely. We can't talk about rights again. It's amazing. What a life. Melissa lick out all the rights then.
Right, right. But
But
there's,
yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just saying, but there are some basic things that we will not discard or will not put aside, and that is for those who are giving packages to our consumers, they are to bear these things in mind,
Mhm.
that even though they're desperate, hungry, homeless maybe, that you should also consider these things when you're preparing the packages. So don't give them dented cans and spoiled foods, and expired foods, and all those things.
I know
Please
some
don't.
little tests like for eggs. I
Hmm.
don't. I've not been told by the scientists also, but I know already from country that if you have eggs and you don't have them on the refrigerator, they might spoil. How you test it is that you put the eggs into a thing of water. If they float,
Float.
So you know that too.
Oh, it's country. It's country
Oh, she,
life.
say that they are not good. So those are the things, and even in the schools, I'm suggesting very strongly that teachers you need to learn these things so you can share them with the children.
Mm-hmm. And
And
there's some
sardines, for example, if the
right.
sardines pop,
Mm-hmm.
you know something not right, don't eat it.
Right, right. And we know that the sardine cans are designed in a specific way. So if you
Yes,
see it bloated, so bloated
right.
cans, any
Mhm.
bloated can is a sign that something has gone wrong. So don't consume anything from any can that is bloated,
And don't
right?
tell me about the hungry because guess what? You starve and live for all 2, 3 weeks. But if you are
Exactly.
poisoned, you only
You
have
could
probably a
die in
few
an
hours.
hour. You could die in a
E-
day. Yes,
Exactly.
and a horrible death too, painful death.
Painful
So
death.
yes, so please,
Mhm.
please, consumers and those who are giving, please check and make sure your crew understands that this is not a
Mhm.
time to save money. So if they see the cans dented or bloated, throw them aside. Don't put them
Yeah.
in the packages
Don't
that
put them
they're
at all.
preparing.
The next
Right.
thing, we live in a town. We didn't get much damage. So we are right. Would you agree with that notion? We don't have a problem.
Well, the daily living is simply something that we should appreciate
Yes.
because most of us had maybe a day or two of no power. Some persons had a few days without water.
Mhm.
Um, some persons went a couple hours or a couple days without connectivity, right? While the persons in the West had issues. The moment you hit the highway, there was no connectivity, and all the
Right.
way down, you wouldn't
Mhm.
have any
But here
connectivity.
the joke now. Many of us, we don't know the importance of my parish, which is Trelawney, with the good old yellow yam.
Oh my,
Manchester, with the Irish potato them.
oh my,
When you come to St. Elizabeth, with the melon and
and the
carrots.
vegetables.
So let me ask you now, what are we going to do? Because I do expect very many can the East produce enough? What do we do as consumers? Cussing and complaining not will make a difference when there's a shortage
Right,
of
right.
items.
And I visited a restaurant a couple days ago, and they had a
Yeah,
sign up to say no extra pieces of food will be served in any, so no one should request it.
I hear you.
So they are already
Yes.
deciding that based on price and availability, that this
Mhm,
is all they can serve each person, and this is Kingston.
mhm,
But to answer your question, Mr. Darby, the persons who understand the production line,
mhm.
right? And the farmers who have been supplying the Coronation Market, all the municipal markets,
Yes.
because they come from all over. The sellers come from all over to different markets, and they go to where they can get the best sale, right?
Yes.
They will tell you St. Mary banana, Trelawney yam, as you say
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
vegetables and fruits, St. Elizabeth, scallion and onion, seasoning, thyme, and so on, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, potatoes, and so on. So all of that has been hit. And what consumers are going to have to do is to supplement their meals
Mhm.
with, especially for the younger ones and the elderly, with vitamin
Yes.
supplements, and you need to be able to get advice from your nutritionists, your
Mhm,
counselors at school for those schools that are still available,
mhm.
and your physician for the elderly.
By the way,
Because,
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
that cut at a bad point. I
No,
just
go
remember
ahead.
that many of us have some massive lawns in front. We better go plant some callaloo, scallion and such.
Exactly, exactly. So you can research what are the 3 week crops, what are the 3 month crops,
Yes,
and
yes.
right now what we suggest you do is that if you have tubers, right now if you have sweet potato, a
Yeah.
piece of yam, some Irish and so on, save a couple of them and wait for them to sprout and
Yes,
get
yes.
some soil and stick them in a tire or in a bag of soil or
Chocho.
something.
Chocho easy to grow.
Chocho, carrot, stick,
Mhm.
save at least one and and put it in a moist bag and wait for it to sprout and see if you can
Yes.
catch something. So I would suggest that persons don't eat everything. Say we should have been doing this some time ago because
Mhm.
CAC is usually ridiculed for saying, start a garden, patio garden
Huh?
in containers and
Oh,
so on.
the ridicule. See,
Yes, yes, yes. I
I
think we
hear you.
were I think we were cartooned a few years ago, showing us telling people in Portmore that they must have container garden. You
I love.
know,
It's a pity I never saw that cartoon because I would have take them on.
yes, so I think
It's just true that they
emergency.
probably ran out of ideas for that day.
Yeah, it's an emergency now though. And Callaloo is our
Easy
richest
to grow.
green and
Yeah,
it's easy to grow. And even if it gets seedy, you know what we mean when it starts giving off more seed than leaf, you
right,
pluck those seeds out. You you
right, right.
you keep plucking them so it gets more and more leafy.
Mm,
And you will have callaloo for breakfast every morning if you know. Pluck the leaves,
mm.
don't cut the stalk,
Now I'll kill you.
right? So you don't have to have the stalk. Pluck the leaves and let it sprout again. And callaloo is really a good source of iron and some
Yes. And
interesting.
those offices have those lovely gardens there. I went to one office where the garden did implant all peas in between. You would even know some peas the man
uh,
planted. So even that we can mix there and plant it right at those offices.
Right,
Man was
right.
right there.
Right. And we want to tell persons separate, do a half and half. You have beautification, flowers and thing. Plant some food. Keep the flowers at the front of your yard if you have a
Yes.
yard, and
Mhm.
plant some food behind those flowers.
And
I
by the way, oh
notice,
Lord, time is going. Me have to beg them to plant back the tree them. We lazy, plant back the tree them and look after
yes,
the birds and also the bees them because without
yeah.
them,
A lot of birds died too.
oh
Yeah.
yes, oh yes.
Yes, because I've seen injured birds around me. A lot of them died.
Oh
Some of
no.
them are fluttering in palm trees. You hear them
Yes, yes.
fluttering because their wings are injured and they're up there and they can't get out.
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
so a lot of birds will be transferring the
Mm.
seeds and the blooms and so on. And so we worry about the bees as well.
Every one of them have them use. If the
Yeah.
junk when I love to refer to in derogatory way, them have them use,
Yes.
leave them alone.
Exactly. Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. Any final
Um,
point you want to make before you leave us, Dorothy?
Just to say to consumers, those of us who have not suffered any damage or little or no damage,
Yes.
we thank you for the efforts that you're doing, but they're asking us not to clog the pathway to relief to the western parishes and
Yeah.
Trelawney and so on. So we're asking consumers, thank you for what you're doing, but also listen to the tips, ensure
Mhm.
that you're not putting people in harm's way. And the CAC is here to receive your complaints. So, as the minister has joined, ask all agencies and departments to join them in doing assessments to get communities up and going. The CAC is also involved in that. So, we're doing everything to continue to protect your rights and secure all of our future.
I would say to close, those who have ears to hear, let them hear. No matter cock up on no ears when they hear say hurricane a come, category 5. You say, no, come here, we all right, we now move. No, no, don't do that. And by the way, I predict that we are going to have another category 5 next year. We continue to damage the environment. So what do we expect? Dr.
Yeah.
Campbell, thank you very much. All you can do is preach the word
Thank you.
and hope that people listen.
We hope. We hope and take action.
And when they don't listen, they will cuss you out. So I'm sorry, please.
That's true.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell from the
All right.
Consumer Affairs Commission. Have a wonderful day and pass
Thank you.
my
You too,
love
Mr.
to
Darwin.
all the staff and management of
Yes,
your
I sure
state.
will.